Did you think you'd be here like 4 years, or I don't know, a few years ago?
I never imagined it. We've been in this industry for about 4 years.
You have
and
been.
I never would have imagined that it would move this quickly.
What do you mean so quickly?
I wasn't prepared for the volatility and the velocity of change.
Yeah.
Everything is moving so quickly in this industry.
How did you get here? Because you were actually an analyst, right? And you were analyzing technology firms in Silicon Valley.
Sure, I was the COO of a subsidiary of a Silicon Valley-based venture capital bank, and I looked at lots of different plans from lots of different companies and lots of different industries. And about 4 years ago, came across a technology company in the medical marijuana industry, and I became fascinated and started to do old-fashioned, boots-on-the-ground research.
And what did you find?
Well, I went out and talked around the country, around the world,
Yeah.
in all of the medical marijuana states in D.C. I talked to growers and dispensary owners and people who make different types of products. I've been to grows around the country, in Canada, in Israel, in Spain, in the Netherlands, just really trying to understand the product, because there are no analysts, there's no research, and so you had to do it. We had to do it in an old-fashioned way.
It was a new industry.
It was a new industry. It was a completely open industry. It was an industry that had a lot of problems, certainly.
Yeah.
A lot of unprofessional companies and managers and unsophisticated business plans. But one of the big changes over the last 4 years is that the plans, the people, the strategies are getting better. And I'm starting to be impressed.
So how did you get to, all right, so you leave your job analyzing technology firms and you decide to start a venture firm that's just strictly investing in cannabis businesses.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I was driving from San Francisco to San Jose one day, listening to a radio show debate California Prop 19. So this was in May of 2010.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder if there's going to be financial firms. I wonder if there's going to be private equity in this industry. And by the end of my ride, I thought, of course there is. And so I started calling business school friends from Yale and other partners and told them I wanted them to quit their jobs and come join me in the medical cannabis industry.
And you got people to do it.
I did. It was a strange phone call, but I got people to do it.
Well, tell me about, too, I'm just imagining, I think I read somewhere where you spent, about $500,000 in your education.
Yes. I have a college degree and 2 postgraduate degrees. I've had a successful career, and that was something that really concerned us early on, reputational risk.
Right.
Would we forever be tainted by going into this industry? And that we left that risk 2 or 3 years ago. We got over that.
What did your parents think? Did they get over that? Are you leaving a really good job? You've invested a lot in your education,
Right.
and you're doing what?
Certainly wasn't the career path they expected from me. They're older. They're 80, 81 years old.
Yeah.
They sort of missed the whole 60s revolution. They're older than that, and so it was an interesting conversation. But even they had friends who had used medical cannabis for a legitimate reason, and so they were able to wrap their arms around it and understand it.
And Brendan, investors have wrapped their heads around it, and they've given you money. So how much money do you have to play with, and what kind of companies are you finding to invest in?
Sure. So we closed $7 million in July. At some point this summer, we'll go out and raise not more than $50 million, but probably not that much less, to invest in legal companies in the U.S. and in Canada, around the world.
For medical and recreational
For medical
use.
and recreational. In the U.S., we won't touch the product, so we won't prescribe it, we won't grow it, we won't package it or distribute it. But in Canada, one of our subsidiaries has a product called Tilray, and that's the brand. And so we're in the process of getting a license from Health Canada. So we'll have a license from the federal government there to produce, process, package, and distribute cannabis across Canada to valid Canadian medical cannabis patients.
We mentioned the ruling about banks offering accounts and other services to businesses where medical or recreational pot sales are legal. Is that a good thing? You want to see kind of that momentum?
It's progress. It's not the progress that we were all hoping for. Banking has been a significant issue for us in the United States. It hasn't been a problem in Canada, but in the U.S. it has. We've been kicked out of 2 banks, one national bank, and every time it's a long process.
Yeah.
With our clients, I've been in a room full of $1 million in cash, and it's not a comfortable feeling.
Yeah.
And
it feels wrong.
It feels wrong. it creates a target for crime. And these companies are just looking for bank accounts, checking and savings accounts. That's it. They want to do payroll.
Before you and I got going, you said you get a lot of proposals and some crazy proposals that come in. How big an industry do you think this is? I'm seeing numbers of about, I think it's about $2 or $3 billion maybe for this year or so, but I see like $10 billion. Based on what you're seeing in terms of momentum and the types of businesses that are coming to you looking for investments, how big an industry do you think this is?
Well, you can look at it a couple different ways. You can look at it as a gray market and black market, and we don't really divide it that way. We think about cannabis as an industry throughout the United States, and we size it between $40 and $50 billion.
40 and 50.
So that's talking about legal cannabis in the 20 states plus D.C., but then also the black market. In the U.S., it's 40 to 50 billion. Worldwide, it's 150 to 200 billion.
Just got about 5 seconds. How quickly do we ramp up to something like that?
Oh, what we'll see is a conversion from gray market to legal market. It's already that size. It's just making it more legitimate and more professional.
Just making it legitimate.